23rd day of February 2014, a historic day in Uganda. We'll have the details of that in this very comprehensive bulletin. The country, this is KTN Prime.
Indeed, many thanks for joining us, and that is what we will be highlighting tonight. And a little later on in this bulletin, we'll have a conversation with the Secretary General of the Law Society of Uganda, Nicholas Opio, and we'll be talking about the effects of this bill, how it will be implemented, and just understanding whether it'll have a ripple effect within the East African region. And so that is exactly where we begin tonight in Uganda, where President Yoweri Museveni has defied international pressure and signed into law the controversial anti-gay bill that outlaws all forms of same-sex relationships in Uganda.
Now, the stringent law that stipulates a maximum sentence of life in jail will also net Ugandan nationals committing the homosexual acts in foreign countries. KTN's Angel Katusia has details of the law that has been termed as inhuman by a section of Western countries.
At exactly 1:54 p.m. East African time, Uganda President Yoweri Museveni signed into law what will now go down as the most stringent anti-gay law in the region. The signing that happened under the watch of local and international media was considered to be a strong message to Western countries that have opposed the law. Under the new law, first-time offenders will be jailed for 14 years. Those who commit homosexual acts with minors, disabled persons, or infect others with HIV will get life sentences under a provision known as aggravated homosexuality. The new legislation also outlaws what it calls the promotion of homosexuality. The law has broadened the criminalization of same-sex relations in Uganda and includes provisions for Ugandans who engage in same-sex relations outside of Uganda, asserting that they may be extradited for punishment back to Uganda.
Of course we've said we are tolerant. That's what we're saying. We are not slaughtering them. That's what we're saying. Let them come and we help them to come out of this unfortunate situation.
Museveni had previously rejected the bill, saying that there were other ways to address what he termed as abnormal behavior, adding that life imprisonment was not the solution. However, after consultation with medical experts who claim that homosexuality is not genetic but a social behavior, Museveni changed his mind. U.S. President Barack Obama had warned that enacting the bill would affect relations between the two nations, but that has not stopped Museveni.
Tell me, if the entire world was homosexual, what would happen? If they went around recruiting all Ugandans to become homosexuals, what would happen? Common sense. This is wrong.
The Ugandan law came in the wake of a debate that spread to Kenya about the place of gays in society. Gay activists in Kenya have in the past held demonstrations demanding recognition by government. Chapter 63 of the Penal Code, Section 162, states that any person who has carnal knowledge of any person against the order of nature or permits a male person to have carnal knowledge of him or her against the order of nature is guilty of felony and is liable to imprisonment for 14 years. Section 165 further states that any male person who, whether in public or private, commits any act of gross indecency with another male person or procures another male person to commit any act of gross indecency with him or attempts to procure the commission of any such act by any male person with himself or with another male person, whether in public or private, is guilty of felony and is liable to imprisonment for 5 years. In Africa, the southern region of Somalia, Sudan, Mauritania, and northern Nigeria all have death penalties for acts of homosexuality. A death penalty clause was removed in the Ugandan law in the wake of international pressure. Angel Katusia, KTN.